Yet another ICC tournament. Yes, the fatigue is visible as another ICC tournament is about to get underway in just a few hours. And that is our topic of discussion today. Joining me again is Fardin Kibria and Alvis Islam. So, boys, we as fans are fatigued. We can only imagine what's going on with the players, and that's probably evident in the fact that there's at least 12 or 13 first choice 11 players who are ruled out already.
Yeah, I mean, sheer volume of cricket. You see someone like Lockie Ferguson, he's been playing so much cricket for the past, what, 12, 16 months, etc. And now, just through the ILT20, he pulls up with an injury, and they have to replace him with Kyle Jamieson, who hasn't played ODI cricket since 2023, September, I think, October, something like that. So yeah, I mean, like players are obviously feeling it. I think the schedule, the way it is now, is also feeling it. But modern day cricket, times are changing very quickly. People are moving to Dubai on golden visa, like Alex Hills and James Vince, and giving up their domestic cricket structures. So I think this is just the start of a very changing time in world cricket, honestly.
I think there was a page who were making their own injured 11 where you could basically have another team made of the players who aren't playing. It's the Champions Trophy.
And it's very funny because that injured 11, not really surprising, but that injured 11 would be full of
Would win. They
bowlers.
would win. They would win the championship.
And they'd be full of bowlers. Like most of the Pacers,
Well, ballers
unfortunately.
win tournaments anyway, so I mean,
Uh, Fair.
That's
Most of
true.
the
That's
Pacers
true.
having played this long season, especially the long season down under that is just
mhm.
Yeah.
completing. A lot of them were in the ILT20, as you said, Big Bash, SAT20. No one was in the BPL. Go figure.
We've actually seen the BPL guys get a call up to Pakistan, but then not be able to do anything in the Tri Series.
Are you
No
surprised?
surprise there. Literally no surprise. Who is selecting Khusdil Shah and Fahim Ashraf based on BPL performance? Man,
Fahim
why?
Ashraf was playing Hong Kong Super Sixes 6 months ago, and now he's playing for Pakistan. Like
Fahim Ashraf
that's
always
That's what the
played for
BPL does.
Pakistan.
We're domestic
recency bias.
feeder
Recency bias.
for the national teams. Yeah.
No, but other countries have stopped trusting BPL. There are other leagues to go by. They don't trust BPL.
Yeah,
Even Afghanistan don't trust BPL anymore. But
yeah,
Pakistan, they really do. They still really do trust BPL. They've been doing that since season one. You remember the Nasir Jamshed days.
yeah,
They've been
yeah.
doing that since then. Anyways, coming back to the one team that technically has no players missing out due to injury because Shomo Sarkar has recovered technically, so no player is missing out due to injury, and at the same time, that team is expected to finish last. Alvi Islam, talk about Bangladesh.
Us at full strength is like all the other teams at 50% strength. On a good day, on a good day. Um, Norak Noman just did a ranking where he said Bangladesh would be dead last, not surprising. And I
It
think
finished 10th out of 8 teams right now. That's
easily.
not
And
surprising.
the way we've gone against Pakistan Shaheens, I think 2 days ago, where you're getting bowled out by unnamed bowlers except for Usama who's done well. Um,
But Usama Mir, even
Even
Pakistan fans
Usama
don't count
in
him.
the international circuit is considered a joke at this point.
exactly. So if that just goes to show, if you get maybe an under 12 leggy bowling to us in a game, we're done anyways. We're cooked. So you can't be hoping to, like as Shanto said, we're going to the Champions Trophy to win it. Okay, we'd like to believe that, but with betting like that, can we believe him? Can we score the 350 we need to win at least one game when we're getting bowled out for 200?
I think what's really telling is if you see the two scorecards for Pakistan Shahins, they played one game against Bangladesh and one game against South Africa. They scored 300 plus against South Africa. South Africa still chased that shit down.
That was on a very flat track.
Yeah.
South Africa will continue doing that. South Africa will continue doing that up until the semis, and then after that, they're just done.
And, unless
I,
they do it like last time, where they somehow make their
Do
way
it
to
in
the
the final.
finals and then lose a game they had no business losing.
yeah.
Coming back to Bangladesh, Fardin, as Alvi pointed out, we have our
Yeah.
inherent weakness against wrist spinners. And do you
Hmm.
think that Kuldeep Yadav is going to have a field day against the same Bangladesh team?
Even if there is no rough on the wicket, even if nothing is happening on the wicket, Bangladesh batters will make it look like there's something happening off the wicket, right? And this goes back to our inability to kind of pick bowlers out of their hand. We don't know when he's bowling his stock delivery, we don't know when he's bowling his variation. So everyone looks to play. Like, I've heard a player before who said, I play Rashid Khan like an off spinner. You're already done. If you're playing Rashid Khan as an off spinner, you're already on the back foot because he's about to bowl you a quicker one and you probably get wrapped on the pads after you plant your front foot, right? So for us, it's the same thing. When Kuldeep bowls are over the wicket for a lefty, a lot of guys are thinking, oh, it's going to pitch outside. But it's actually not pitching outside because he's turning it into you as a right hander. But they all think, oh no, it's going to go away from me. He's going to try to beat the bat. But that's the surprise factor that he works with. Is everyone's expecting it to move away, move away, move away. He's coming in, and then straight, right? But I think Bangladesh, like Alvi said, I think Bangladesh's weakness goes back to not just spin. I think just the ability of batters to at least put on big scores on a flat wicket. One guy might do it on a day, but I really don't see three, four guys collectively doing it. Uh, which is what you would need to set like that 300 total Alvi was talking about.
Even if we forget Kuldeep Yadav for a moment, Alvi, left arm spinners like Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja are worlds apart from the Arafat Sani and Sanzamul Islam that our batters were facing in the BPL just a few days ago.
Nasser,
Sanjamul Islam, who was doing the analysis shows for the first 6 games, and then all of a sudden started playing in the 11th.
so Nasser went for runs in the first game against Pakistan Shaheens. He was the most expensive bowler on the day. And that's who we're sort of banking on to take up Shakib's role as the left arm spinner. Nothing against Nasum, but I don't think we have a left arm spinner in the country at the moment who can sort of make that sort of impact in an international game.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, Mehdi Hassan Miraj is doing a relatively better job with a white ball in the past, I'd say 2 3 months. But you really can't go off of BPL form, as we said. So if it's down to Mehdi Hassan Miraj and Nasum Ahmed, it's a no brainer. You have to choose Sheikh Mehdi. You have to choose Sheikh Mehdi, and you cannot go with anybody else.
But there is
Um,
the Sheikh Mehdi.
that's selection. So that's BCB for you. Sheikh Mehdi has been, I'd say, for the first half of the BPL and the GSL, our best white ball spinner for the past 2 months. I'd say leagues ahead of Nasum and Mehdi Hassan Miraj. So it's really surprising he's not in the squad even, or even as a reserve like Hassan and Khaled are. Hassan should have been in the squad as well ahead of Mustafiz, but he's not. So we're obviously we try to diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, but that really thins out our like we have depth in terms of variety, but we don't have that depth in terms of skill. So if you've got a left arm quick bowler, okay, that's good. But if that left arm quick bowler is somebody who can only bowl cutters, what's the point? I would rather play Khalid instead of Mustafiz on current
That's why
form.
that's why we were talking about that. If he's coming on to bowl at the first 10 overs and
Mhm,
you've bowled 2 overs each per ball,
mhm.
this guy's about to waste a new ball
Exactly.
trying to bowl cutters.
There's no point of him, and We've seen Mustafiz in ICC events. He comes in at the back and he gets, 4 or 5 wickets, and he looks like, oh, he's done lots of work. But he just picks up tailenders who are trying to hit him at the last, at the back end. So
You're literally better off bowling Miraj in the power play at this point
Hmm. Hmm.
because you don't have
if
100%. I
options.
would agree.
I mean,
I
more
would
than
agree.
Mustafiz, yes, more than Mustafiz, 100%. I would rather bowl Miraj than Mustafiz. I would bowl Khushdil Shah ahead of Mustafiz in the power play if I could. Um, and I would
Khushdil
even bowl
Shah would
Shanto.
be a star
I would
player
bowl
in Bangladesh.
I would
Yeah,
even bowl
you,
Shanto in the first 10 ahead of Mustafiz because he is a waste of a new ball.
uh,
I
imagine
mean,
Khushdil Shah
it's
being
tragic.
born before 1971 and then coming to the other side of what was then East Pakistan, and then
He would have been
becoming a star all rounder in the country.
he would have been our next in line for Shakib already, just based on BPL form itself. Um, so Mustafiz and Nasum, you cannot expect them to replicate guys like Jadeja. I would say Mustafiz is closer to Jadeja than Nasum is with his left arm spin. But end of the day, you cannot expect anybody in the Bangladesh circuit to be even half of Jadeja or Akshar Patel on sporting wickets. If it's a Mirpur or a BKSP, Arfat Sani Sanjamul will outdo Jadeja and Akshar Patel on any given day. But if it's a sporting wicket, if it's an ICC event, no chance. The only hope we have, the only hope I see we have, is if we can play all three quicks. Um, so instead of Mustafiz, who is neither here nor there, Sakib, Rana, Taskin, if they can get us early breakthroughs, and if Rishad does not go for what he went for against Sanju Samson, if he bowls decent, we have a shot. But that also is that's too many ifs and buts, and that's all.
Mhm.
That's all for a proper sporting wicket. Like I won't say Pakistan is a sporting wicket, but Dubai is closer to Mirpur than it is to Pakistan. So in Dubai, there is an outside chance Mustafiz might be useful, but
Mhm.
only in the middle overs, not at the death, because by then the
Yes,
bulk of the
I
scoring is
wouldn't write
done.
him off as a death either, but
I mean, if bulk of the scoring is done, like let's if we go back to the India Bangladesh Champions Trophy game in 2017, where India already scored all of their runs, and
you are
Mustafiz came in
thinking
at
of
the back,
2019 World Cup.
and
2019
and
World Cup.
and 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 17 Champions Trophy as well.
But 70 Champions Trophy Fizz came in with a new ball, and most of the damage was done
Sorry,
behind.
my bad. Yeah. So Mustafiz got Kohli's wicket. I think it was the 19 World Cup then. He got
19 World
Kohli
Cup.
when Kohli was 70 odd. Yeah, my bad. So if he's getting a five for getting number like one of the top four and then four of the back 10, the back whatever the tail enders, there's no point. The runs have already been scored. If we want him to be useful at the top, that's outlandish. He has to do you wickets in the middle, and we've been able to restrict them up to the 40th over or up. By now, India is scoring 230 overs on average, I'd say. So if you want to restrict them, you have to restrict them by the 30th or the 35th. If you come in at the death where India 350 for four and Mustafiz gets five, who cares?
And we're still assuming Fizz will play just
Because
because
of conditions. Yeah.
we don't make playing 11s without Fizz anyway, and as you said,
Mhm.
the conditions definitely do favor him. Now, more on Bangladesh. The batting order, we're almost all assuming that Tauhid Ridha is very unlikely to start against India.
Mhm.
Jakir
Mhm.
Ali could be given a fixed spot at number seven. I think that's the way to go. Give Jakir the
Yeah.
fixed spot at number seven and build the rest of the middle order around him. Whereas what is Alvi doing? Anyways, again, uh, Mushfiqur Rahim's form, major concern.
Bro, I said it before the Champions Trophy squad was even announced. Why are we so hell bent on giving someone their last ICC trophy, last ICC tournament? But I am someone who is of the belief that at a tournament you take your best squad. Who are your best guys available? Mushfiqur Rahim does not look like one of the best guys available right now in Bangladesh.
It's almost paradoxical. how we want to give these guys a send off by saying,
Yeah.
oh, play your last ICC tournament, win the tournament, and then, leave. But
But
by
I don't even
by
feel like they
including
needed to
them,
win. Yeah.
no, by selecting them to play the ICC tournament, you're
Yeah.
sabotaging their own chance of winning the tournament in the first place.
Yeah.
If it's like you're setting them up for failure. So if you want them to win, just leave them out.
Did you see the video of Nafis Iqbal? Like, I'm just being like honest here. Nafis Iqbal's bowling off a sidearm to Mushfiq.
Hmm. And he played a straight drive on the practice videos, right?
He was like about to freaking top edge like four of them.
Okay,
Be-
I just saw the one.
because the ball's coming in and
Hmm.
he's going outside off
Across.
and then he's trying to like manage. Like that mistake everyone makes when you play it on the first line and then it deviates either off the seam or
Mhm.
in the air, and then you go
Right.
outside and then you're like after 20 years if you're still struggling with that, like I'm sorry, like Navid Zadran might get you out. Like Nathan Smith might nick you out for like two. So my thing is, end of the day, I think if we were brave enough to kind of say, you've had it, you've done it, uh, kind of take a chance and maybe say, Tohid Hridoy, go and have a tournament, um, and Mushfiq doesn't play. But I know that's never gonna happen, right? But like, uh, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, is it putting a lot of pressure on maybe the two openers, kind of knowing that one guy in the middle order basically is a liability, and they're essentially playing maybe one short if he doesn't click at all.
I
If
I
our
actually don't
openers
think
want to be walking wickets, they'll be walking wickets. There's nothing you can do about it. Even when Mushfiqur Rahim was in the form of his life, we've had those
Yeah.
moments where our openers decided that no, right now in the next 5 games we're not going to score any runs, and that happened. So with our openers, it never matters. It never matters whether there's actual pressure on them or not.
Yeah, yeah,
They'll just
yeah.
perform if they're in the mood to perform.
I think it's more along the lines of our openers are much younger. Like everyone else is much younger than Bhairabai. And Bhairabai are the only, fossils left in the team. Like Jared Kimber said, Mahmudullah played for East India, British East India,
Pakistan, British
East
East
Pakistan,
India.
British India. And I said, well, he might as well have played for Bhuvan's team in Lagan. But the main point here is, um, I sort of, if you look back at our openers and our juniors, Shomu is also a junior because we've got Bhairabai in the team. But they sort of have this
after after
notion
after
where
11 after 11 years still a junior.
he was still playing Emerging Asia Cup 2 years ago. So
Yeah, that's
the
that's
juniors have this sort of notion that if we've got Bhairabai in the middle or anybody from the Pandop in the middle, we've got to back them. They bring experience. They do this, that, blah, blah, blah. This whole script of, Mukosto and whatnot. Um, So I don't think they're going to feel any pressure at all regarding the fact that they think, oh, these guys are out of touch, so we have to make up for it. They'll think more along the lines of, oh, look, I've got these two, legends of the game coming, yet to come into bed. I can do whatever I like, and I've got a license to do whatever I like.
yes,
So I think it's
yes.
going to be the opposite. They would feel, negative pressure to perform because they know if I screw up, well, they can just look after
Uh,
it. We can have Riyad Bhai come in. Riyad,
bhai to us.
eh, Riyad Bhai can come in and score, a Bangladesh 20 of 160 for a Shanman Janok 150 target. So because of,
Where when
you know,
when when required run rate is at 12.
and when required run rate is at 12, and Riyad Bhai, he scores a 20, he scores a 50 of 600 balls and does like, not me up there, which, which I, I love the celebration. I do it myself, but that is not the time for it when you're chasing 400 and you score 100 with 80 runs needed. I know you have to make a
No,
statement because
no.
you are almost not picked. I understand.
but but what I think end of the day, these guys, when the game is gone, say we're chasing and the game is gone, I can guarantee you if a batter is out there, someone from the top six, they're gonna go for the red ink. I can guarantee you right now. These men are gonna
Exactly.
try to stay not out, even if it's 60 not out, 70 not, whatever it is, just not out.
If it's two of 100 not out, it's still not out.
Still not out, not
Like
out. Average is not out,
Ashraful
bro.
Ashraful said the other day in the podcast with Sami Bhai,
Right,
that
on field.
on field, that if even Wahidul Goni sir and all the other senior players, when Ashraful came on to play, came into the team, they all said just score something, score 20, 30, so that you can make a case to stay in the team. And
Even
that's
back
sort of,
then, this was a backdated idea. Even back then, 25
and
years ago.
no, for us this is very contemporary. For us this is advanced level thinking. This is
This
what
is advanced. Yeah.
for us, that's what the world would have been without a certain league in Bangladesh. You know, so that's where the world is going 20 years from now. We're just ahead of the time. What I'm getting at is that our mindset will forever be, if everyone else has failed, how can I say, oh, at least I did this?
I did this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's not wrong. If everybody else has sort of shat the bed, you need to hold up one end, which is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go back to the South Africa game when Riyad Pai scored the 100. He did hold up one end, which is what he has to do. You can't
And
expect him to
by the
go
way,
out and
that
score.
knock, I just want to mention that knock is literally the reason we're playing this tournament as of now.
Exactly. Look, we're not taking anything away from the knock, nothing away from the celebration, from the player, nothing. The main problem here is the culture we've built around this sort of over glorification of a Chonman Jonokar mindset, which even us as fans, well, not us, the Jonota fans, the public, Baji Dhora, আজকে এ কত রান করছে, keyboard warrior, ইন্ডিয়ার সাথে গালাগালি করা, all these
Mm-hmm.
fans. Um, and you have your eons and your this and that and fan club and whatnot. These are the guys, hate me all you
Yeah.
want. These are the people who have been feeding this poison to the team, where we go, oh, at least my favorite player scored this, your favorite player scored nothing. At least he got
And then
us.
bash each other about that on the comment
Exactly.
section for
At
the next
least
2 days.
because of my favorite player, we lost by 170 runs and not 106 or 172. Because of your player, we would have lost by 172 runs. So that's and that falls on all of us as much as it falls on the players as well. To have what we would say সুস্থ মানসিকতা, which we don't have, which the fans don't have. Unfortunately, it is what it is. You can't do much. And me, I am also a fan. On any given day, I'll support Riyad by Shaq. Even Shakib, I'll come out and say on a given day, I will support Shakib, the player, as well. Be it Bihari, Bepshai, Riyad by, whatever you call it. End of the day, I just look at the player, whether what party he did and whatnot. I'll say, but it's the fans who are sort of, we're giving them too much slack.
We were briefly moving away from this culture. Like you look at Mahmudullah Riyad's first three ODI hundreds, all of those came in ICC tournaments. Last one, in fact, coming in a Champions Trophy, and then you compare it to
Mm-hmm.
the fourth one, which he got in the World Cup. Again,
Mm-hmm.
worlds apart. And you can easily say that it's not Mahmudullah's fault that the team conceded 400 runs. It's just what I am talking about here, what Alvi is talking about here is the culture that you've built around the team. It's the culture of losing like this. Alvi, please stop. This is looking very weird.
Yeah, keep going.
Yes, I'd rather see Akshay
and
Kumar.
then and
Keep
then
going. Keep going. This is important. Keep going.
So again,
no, I
it's
mean,
just that
if you think about it
we're
in this
back to the
perspective,
whole thing with what Ashraful said. We're back to this whole early 2000s mindset all over again, and we don't know
no,
when we're
I
gonna get
I
rid of
mean,
it.
if you think about it like this, let's if we look at it a different way, let's say with our bowling attack, like the three pacers that we have. From your perspective, do you think if these guys somehow restrict an opposition to 160, 170, Do you see the batting lineup chasing that down? Do you see it happening?
150, 170, you said.
170, 160, 170.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
That lower score, I think it's going to give them a lot of confidence, and I see it. 260,
Yeah.
270, no. 260, 270 is chaseable, very chaseable. Modern day
Yeah,
ODI is
yeah,
very
yeah,
chaseable,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it won't
Modern day
give them that
ODIs,
same sense
even
of
people are chasing
confidence.
400 sometimes. um, my
It,
thing is,
I'll
I
draw,
think,
I'll draw an interesting parallel. Think of it as
mm,
like that example of Bangladesh chasing 190 against India in back in 2007. Oh my God, we're back to square one, literally.
yeah,
2007 World Cup. That's what we have to talk about now. So
yeah,
2007, Bangladesh chased 190 against India. Think about it this way: that batting order could have
hmm,
fumbled any day chasing 150 or above. We
yeah,
chased 190 because 190 to restrict India to 190 was a huge
was
deal in itself.
huge, massive, exactly,
That itself
exactly.
gave all these young batters, especially Tamim, Shakib, Mushfiq, the three heroes of that day, it gave them that confidence. It gave them the momentum, especially towards the end, because Mashrafi wrapped up the tail real quick. These are
Hmm,
the little things, these are the positives that they took into the second innings. We need
hmm,
something like that. If we can get 160, 170, 100%, it's still defendable. For India, it's definitely defendable. The kind of
yeah.
bowlers they have currently, even without Bumrah. But at the same time, you know that it's possible. Bangladesh, you would say momentum Bangladesh, advantage Bangladesh.
Sure.
250 plus, advantage whoever the opponent is.
Yeah. I guess the last point kind of is, so during the World Cup, the whole notion after a certain point was, let's qualify for Champions Trophy no matter what happens, right? And so now we've got here to the Champions Trophy no matter what happened. And you say you have the worst tournament, you end up 10 out of 8. like where to from here? Like, where does this go?
The next Zimbabwe series at home.
Literally. Literally just that.
Crazy, crazy.
I mean, we're not kicking out Mushigur Rahim Mahmudullah Riyad. We're waiting to see what they do, what they announce. We still don't
We
have an official announcement from Shakib yet. So we wait for
Yeah,
these. And
yeah,
then we move on with the same set of players. Rinse and repeat. Same set of players right now. You
yeah.
know, and you know the same names are just gonna come up from domestic cricket. It's
I
all
mean,
gonna
if you just look at the Bangladesh Tigers squad that's practicing, it's basically the same guys who are just not in the main 15 right now. They're just practicing as Bangladesh Tigers. In a country of so many people, we fail to find 25 different guys for some reason.
no, you find them.
Pakistan,
You find them at
Pakistan is
club level.
playing.
You just
Pakistan is at a worse condition than us, and they have two Shaheen teams playing in a freaking warm up tournament. The Shaheen team that playing against Bangladesh and the Shaheen team that playing against South Africa was completely different. So they have 22 guys literally on the back of 15 that are already going to the tournament. Like, that's absurd.
to be fair, the 15
and
they have
Iftikhar
selected
wasn't in any three of
are
them.
not exactly the best suited for the set tournament.
Iftikhar
The
wasn't
That's a
not
different discussion.
the funniest thing is, someone from one of my clubs commented in a group chat. He's like, "Why is our A team worse than our B and C team?"
I swear when we lost against Pakistan Shaheens, and us all being the
You know the
Bahia
funniest thing?
Bangladeshis we
No,
are.
no, no. You know the best part? That Shaheen's game happened the day after one media reported that Bangladesh apparently scored in Mirpur 400 or something in their practice session match scenario.
Not one media, all media. Everyone. I think Jubair Bhai
Everyone.
from Daily Sun did the initial report, and then Muhammad Abdullah Chaudhuri did it. You've also got, I think On Field might have done it. I think Narat Noman did it. And BD Creek Time and Creek Frenzy, of course, they have to, or else they can't go to sleep. So obviously they've all done it. And the next day we scored 200 against a C team.
And I actually have a question for any Bangladeshi fan watching. Do you know who Muhammad Abdullah Chaudhary is? Comment
Uh,
down below if you do. Do you know if who that is? Comment
in the
down below.
comments, in the comments.
Muhammad Abdullah Chaudhary.
If FK hasn't realized it yet.
You just met him at the wedding. Yeah,
Devdulal.
he's gone. He's lost.
What? That's
Google it.
crazy. Yo, say word. Anyways, okay. Moving on.
Okay,
Yeah,
Edai
okay,
Vasto.
moving on.
Irai Basketball.
Our
Okay.
next target is Australia, who actually are competing with Bangladesh in a sense that they might actually finish second last.
That's
Okay.
why Ricky Ponting took the shot at us. He wants to flare up the rivalry.
My question is, what is the T in Australian cricket? Why is everyone dropping out like flies at the last minute?
I do suspect IPL may or may not have
IPL,
something to do with
yeah,
it. Not with a
yeah.
lot of the selections, like Mitch Marsh. I think he's also not going to play for Lucknow either. So
No, the Marsh one I understand. I think
he's always
it's
injured. So yeah,
the
that's
Stoinis and Stark one that I was more so confused by
Yeah,
because of
Stone is just
how
retired, so that was odd. I have
late.
no idea how that
you
happened.
retire after getting selected, knowing that a bunch of your teammates won't be making it to the tournament. That is absurd.
Maybe he just bet lots of money on him not making the squad.
On whom?
On himself not making the squad.
Oh, okay, that's possible, I guess.
With all the BPL, fixing going on, you never know.
You never know. But then again, you have to assume that it's a large amount of money because he would get paid a lot just participate to even just carry drinks, right?
I
It's a
mean,
lot of Australian dollars in there.
he does get more in the
Anyways,
IPL.
JFM, uh, his first ICC tournament, which was supposed to be, I guess, a T20 World Cup, is now going to be the Champions Trophy. There's, of course, Aaron Hardy, who was here from before. And Aaron Hardy, we were suspecting that he'd be the number seven. Now he has to be the number seven. He has to be a first choice in there. Tanvir Sangha, Matthew Short, Adam Zampa. Again, Adam Zampa is
I
a
like
regular. Adam
the
Zampa is the lead of the spin bowling attack. But other
I
than
like
that,
the Tanvir
it's
Sangha pick. I think
yeah.
I think they've done well there.
Spencer
Because they
Johnson will most likely be leading the pack. If you think
yeah, I
about
So
it,
do,
mean
so do you think they'll bowl two leggies in the same game?
they won't bowl two leggies in the same game. But I think
good
what they
backup to
will
have. I
struggle
think that's what he
what
means.
I think what they will struggle with is they might play Cooper Conley at first. And if they play Cooper Conley at first and it doesn't go well, they might ditch that extra batter for
But
the
is Cooper
extra
Connolly in
leg.
the official squad? Because it still says in the ICC website that he is in the reserves, not in the official squad.
I thought Cricket Australia announced that he was part of the 15 now. I'm gonna check quickly on that. Well, let's see. Australia.
No, no, no. There's 15 without him, so he's technically the
Oh,
16th
15
member.
without him. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I think they go probably Abbott. Um, oh, traveling reserve Cooper Conley. Okay,
Cooper
okay.
Connolly.
Sorry, I think I just saw it as like the whole squad.
Yeah,
Um,
because if you got Labuschagne, why would you sort of go with somebody else at three?
no, no, Cooper Conley. I thought they might play him at 8. Honestly, like that finisher role.
Okay,
Um,
I heard three. My bad.
no, no, 8, 8, 8.
Okay.
And
Mm.
if he doesn't work, then they'll play.
Sean
But
Abbott is
I
going to be
think
number 8 then. I mean,
yeah,
Most
Abbott
he
is
can
likely,
bat.
most
gonna
likely.
be
Yeah.
actually might be Ben Duershois. He's batting pretty
Oh,
well
he's an option too.
recently, so might be him to be honest. He might bat at 8 and then Abbott 9, Spencer 10,
So no
I think
Ellis.
it's become a coin
Zampa.
toss between
You're
Spencer
not
and
playing Ellis.
Nathan Ellis.
I don't think Ellis plays at the start. I doubt Ellis plays at the start. Ellis probably plays at the back end more if Australia make it through, or even if Australia. Where's their first game? Pakistan.
Everything in
All of their
Pakistan.
games are in Pakistan.
Everything right. Sorry. Um, let the wickets get used a couple of times. I think then Ellis comes into it a bit more. With the change of pace and like the seam ups in between. But I think at least to start, they might give Abbott, Ben, and what's his name?
I think Abbott definitely starts because he's the most experienced bowler in the lineup they've got.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Abbott has to start.
and he's been
Should they
around the
ideally
setup.
bat both Inglis and Carey together?
I'd like to.
Play one of them
I
as a
I
hope
would
switch
so.
like
batter.
that.
I hope
I
so
would
because
hope so.
they're
Yeah,
batting very light, so they would need both the guys in the 11.
Australia's like with
To answer this question, if Australia play three specialist pacers, they will have Aaron Hardy as the fourth pacer anyway, so they'll have a minimum of four pacers playing in Pakistan.
yeah. I think Hardy Abbott plays regardless of what it is. Ben Dorshuis, does he play? Does he not play? Uh, might depend on the combination that they want to go with. And Spencer Johnson is a lock. I would also think so. At this point, I don't think.
They might even get Labuschagne bowling seam up.
Yeah, could be. Uh,
No,
I doubt.
why would they need so many pacers? Rather,
I
they're actually going to need overs out of Glenn Maxwell.
100%. I'd say he's the second spinner.
and Matthew Short and Matthew Short.
Does
As
he
well,
start though? Does Matthew Short start? What do you say?
he starts. I would say he starts.
I would
Opens
say he
with head.
starts with JFM probably at the
No,
top.
no, no.
I would go
JFM
Oh
starts.
no,
JFM
no,
and head.
no. Sorry, Travis Head and him. Travis Head
JFM,
and
yeah, yeah,
Short. Travis Head and
exactly.
Short. Short. Yeah, yeah.
I think Oh, you're going short and head. I think
Short and
Matthew
Head. Yeah.
Short has been historically very disappointing compared to his BBL form and sort of international. So I think with if you go with JFM with head, you've got like you need someone to get you off to a flyer, and head will get you off to a flyer, but
Mm-hmm.
JFM will just be the explosive opener that you need, like you would have expected from David Warner.
But
Mm-hmm.
JFM doesn't play more than 10 deliveries. That's the problem,
If he's got 35 of 10, that's more than enough, I'd say.
I suppose.
I think they'll struggle with Labouche not being informed. I think that's a tough one. Because he's what, batting four probably. Smith
But
has
that's the
three,
thing. If you play
or
Inglis and Carey together, you
then you
don't
might
have to
not
play
actually
Labuschagne.
be exactly. You don't have to play.
You have
Yeah,
Maxwell at six, so no one's
yeah.
taking Maxwell's spot, regardless of
So
how poor Maxwell's form is. No one's taking his spot.
yeah,
They just score a 200 for you in one of the games.
Oh,
Season done.
randomly we'll just go 200. Yeah. Um. In that case, I think you go short slash JFM. Head, Smith, Inglis, Carey, Maxwell, Hardy, Abbott. I would say Dwarshuis, Spencer, and Zampa. They miss a finger spinner, I think, like a full time finger spinner. I think they miss that. I know they trust Head and Maxwell a lot in terms of what they bring to the table with their bowling. Just a really tough time for Matt Kuhneman to go down with the bowling issue. Called for chucking. Todd Murphy not really in the white ball setup. Australia actually has limited spin resources.
But they have bought back in Lion.
No,
and I don't think for this
I
particular
think that
tournament
ship
they'll
has
need all that
sailed.
many spinners anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah,
They won a
yeah,
goddamn World Cup in India with only Zampa, literally only Zampa, and Maxwell bowled whenever needed, Head bowled whenever needed. So it
yeah.
doesn't really
I
matter
think
for
I
them.
think that that combination has worked for them because of guys like Hardy, Short, um, Head, Maxwell being able to bowl almost 15 overs to 20 overs between themselves. So between them, you got between four guys, if you're getting 20 overs out of them, or even 15 to 20 overs out of them, that means Zampa bowls his 10, you're at 30 almost, and then 20 overs between the other three quicks, even if you're 25 between the other three quicks, you're actually at a really good place in terms of combination.
Will they be able to handle Afghan spinners? Depends on the pitch. If it's a flat track, you have to start questioning whether the Afghan spinners, excluding Rashid Khan, can handle the Australian
And
veteran.
Ghazenfur, right?
He's
No,
not
no,
Gazanfar
playing.
is gone.
Ghazenfur. No
Injured,
Ghazenfur
injured.
play. Yeah, no Ghazenfur.
No
I think
Gazanfar.
that
And
that takes a toll because
Kharoti,
Mujib
I like Kharoti, but Kharoti is not. Whoever is turning on my voice, please.
Alvi. What did you turn on? What
So the
happened?
whole thing with
Yeah.
Kharoti is he is not exactly a like for Gazanfar, unfortunately,
Yes. Yeah.
and
No, I
that
think
that might cost them.
yeah, that's the difficult part because you also don't have Mujib, right? No Mujib, no Ghazenfur. That makes it a bit of difficult matchup for Afghanistan because it puts a lot more pressure on Noor and Rashid to kind of carry that bowling with Nabi. And like we've seen, Ghazenfur just brings that X factor into the lineup. And with him there, you're probably getting a lot more out of that spin attack as a whole. Because remember, a lot of these bowling attacks actually work well in partnerships, they don't work well separately.
I think they'll sneak Gulbuddin Naib in because that gives them at least 15 overs of pace between Naib and Omar Zai,
Omar
which
Zaid.
eases the workload a lot for someone like Faruqi. Faruqi will probably be bowling
Right.
with Naveed Zadran, sharing the new ball with him because no Gazanfar means you have to play two specialist pacers minimum. Afghanistan don't like to
Right.
play that many specialist pacers normally.
So Fazal Haq Faruqi and Naveed Zadran or Farid Malik.
Farid Malik. I think that part is interchangeable sort of
Yeah,
between Farid and
yeah. I
Zadran, but
think I
Faruqi
yeah,
definitely he's gonna play.
yeah. So
It's
I
funny
mean
because who would
Ramanullah
have thought
Gurba
that
scored 100
Afghanistan
today
are gonna
again.
struggle this much? Like our whole take on Afghanistan is gonna change just because of the absence of one spinner, and that spinner is
One,
not even Rashid Khan.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the thing because like since his introduction into international cricket, he's changed that landscape of Afghanistan's bowling lineup massively to the point that Mujib not even being there does not matter anymore. It, like the impact of or the excitement around having Mujib bowl with the new ball and all that kind of got nullified by Ghazan for coming on and just making it his own. No matter what stage of the game he was bowling at one point. So I think that's the tough part for Afghanistan. Batting wise, I think they're at a pretty good state in terms of batting because they probably bat till 10. So, because they're, I mean, Gurbaz scored 100 today, but Gurbaz, Ibrahim, Zadran, Sadiqullah Atal, probably your top three, I think. And then Ramat Shah, no, maybe someone gets dropped from there. Because Ramat Shah is gonna play,
If
and
Rahmat Shah
then you
plays at
have,
three, say like Rahmat Shah three, Shahidi four, you have
yeah,
just enough room to squeeze in Omar Zai five, Nabi six,
Nabi
and maybe
6 and
Naib
maybe
seven,
nice. Yeah.
which means Rashid has to bat all the way down at eight. Not exactly
Mm.
bad. It's an
Bad.
ODI tournament
Yeah,
after all,
it's
He's
not a
he's
exactly.
more
T20
of a
tournament.
floater
Yeah,
now.
I
They
mean,
can move him around wherever they need him, and that
absolutely,
doesn't
absolutely.
something else.
That entire mid order is full of floats at this point. So yeah, you'll see Naib batting at the top sometimes.
I think what's his name? Like uh, Omar Zai. Omar Zai
Mhm.
became that player for them for a while, right? Until like
And then he
his
gonna kind of fixed his position at number five. So you
yeah,
can't even call him a float anymore.
yeah,
He almost
exactly.
always bats at five.
Yeah. It's,
Moving on now, our
Afghanistan
next team
actually
is
have a
England.
good yeah.
England is a team that actually doesn't have too many changes, just Potts, and Potts is
Horrendous.
the only one injured.
Horrendous. England are
And other than that,
absolute
yeah, horrendous
garbage.
performance. They were terrible against India. So not much to cover because we pretty much covered how off
Ben
this
Duckett
England
is one
team
of the
feels last
best
time.
all format openers right now in world cricket. I just
Who?
wanted to say that. Ben Duckett.
Ben Duckett. He's one of the best in a sense that he's one of the openers who plays all three
All
formats.
three formats. That is also true. That is true.
Like, how many openers get a chance to play all three formats? I mean,
That's
I'm going to go out of my way and say Jaspal would have been 10 times better than Duckett at being an all format opener
true.
if
Yeah.
he got to play all formats. He doesn't. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it's sort of down to that. And
Um,
yeah, Duckett
England's
and
group
Salt,
stage
that
exit.
opening pair is going to be very important, especially on the flat Pakistani wickets. It's going to be important.
But
Yeah.
I think with England, sort of, they've got all the big names in the lineup, like you said, Salt, Bucket, Archer, and all these guys. But historically they've struggled to come together as a team. They've sort of shown, sorry, everyone does go for the out and out baseball approach and everything. We all know that it's very old now, but it's just not clicking for them. Like in India, you would expect the only team who can take down India would have been England with their approach, with their skill, with their sort of what we like to call baseball. But end of the day, they collapsed horribly in the T20s, in the ODIs, everywhere. So with England, they sort of go in with the biggest names, but compared to that, it comes with the caveat of when you've got too many big names who are trying to do their own thing, the collective team effort sort of gets lost in translation,
England's
which we've
become
also
a
seen
very much boys' club kind of a setup
very much,
because
where
this
even Kevin
whole white
Peterson
ball
said,
setup is basically reflective of the red ball squad now.
mm,
Just because Brendan McCullum's come on as coach, like that makes no sense, right? Like that's like saying all the other guys who were playing before that you're all of a sudden not good enough. I mean, maybe if these are the 15 best players that are available in all of England to play all three formats, so be it. But I mean, it seems absurd that someone is given so much control. Don't be surprised if someone gets injured and Jordan Cox is coming into play. Apparently, he has a good golf game, so McCullum likes him.
I think if they gave Jordan Cox, not that they didn't try, he has had a few injury concerns. If they gave him a
Hmm.
proper go as a keeper batter, I think he'd do pretty well in the top.
Yeah,
Pretty well.
yeah.
Anyways, moving on to South Africa now. Again, a team with not that many injury concerns, and it's pretty much the same as what we discussed last time. And as we discussed, Corbin Bosch is in. He has been included, which is remarkable.
Bashi.
What we did see from the Tri Series, or the little we saw of them in the Tri Series, it's that without Rabada and Janssen, they're hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. They
Wait,
cannot
Bosch is
defend
in? Oh
anything.
yeah, he's in for what's it called? Um, Nokia. He's replacing Nokia, right?
That happened a week ago, my guy. Where have you been?
Sorry.
he doesn't
I
even
was
know
lost.
of Abdullah Muhammad
Yeah,
Chaudhary. So I mean,
yeah, that's true. Muhammad Abdullah Chaudhary. Yeah, that's crazy. Um,
Anyways,
Sa- my
without
call is
Rabada
South
and
Africa's winning Champions Trophy
then the whole thing would come up that this was sort of gifted to them because of what happened last year.
because of what happened at the World Cup, T20 World Cup.
You remember when this discussion
Uh,
first came up, Sri Lanka winning the 2014 T20 World Cup, and
because yeah.
oh boy.
It might come up, but Hendrik Klaasen is the best batter in the world right now, besides
I mean,
Travis
he
Head.
was also the best batter on the day.
On the day
I think it
until
was what 29th or 30th June 2024, but we know how that turned
if
out.
if if one batter could win you a tournament, I mean, RCB would have had multiple trophies by now.
fact, fact.
Imagine Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers, both of them having their all-time best seasons, Chris Gayle having his best final, and you still end up losing
They
to
would have had to
Mustafiz
give
Urfan.
each player their own trophy.
All credits to Mustafiz and Bangladesh. Anyways, coming to India now. Not much has changed. It's just the fact that Jasprit Bumrah is officially out. Harshit Rana very likely to take the new ball against Bangladesh because Shami has been blowing a bit hot and cold. So that'll be interesting. Alvi, Bangladesh never do well against these new pace sensations or new any sensations for that matter.
The bigger question is how are the other teams going to fare against our own Rana?
We'll find that out. We'll find that out eventually. But
I think with India and their sort of dominance over world cricket in the past, let's say year and a half, 2 years, beyond the past 10 years, India are going to be unbeatable. We might beat them tomorrow night, but beyond that, they are going to be unbeatable. I don't see New Zealand beating them. Pakistan, no chance. The only team who may have an outside chance at beating India might be South Africa, I feel. But other than that,
and
I don't
that
see
is a matchup we don't even know if it's going to happen or not
exactly,
yet.
exactly. But any of the other six teams, or five teams, because we're going to win tomorrow night. I don't see anybody else beating India in this tournament. No chance.
Is Kuldeep Yadav going to play? Yes,
Most likely, most likely,
I
most
think
likely.
it's going to be a very dumb decision to not play him against Bangladesh.
It's going to be Kuldeep, Barun, Jadeja, and then whoever
I
else.
don't think Varun will make the first 11. I
He
don't
might,
think.
he might.
Against
Especially against
Bangladesh,
Bangladesh.
against
Especially
Bangladesh,
against
I think
Bangladesh,
I
he
might
very
But
well
try.
might.
The thing is, Gigi loves playing all rounders. So if Gigi plays one specialist spinner in the form of Kuldeep, he's going to try and load up the all rounders
Oh, no, Aksar Patel
because he's
bowling at
still going to
100
have to play
kilometers
two
per hour.
specialist pacers anyway. So he will have to load up with the all
So
rounders then.
he's playing Arshdeep and Rana. That's who he's starting with.
Even if he plays Shami, that's three specialist bowlers right there and then, right?
Gigi has quietly made his boy Harshit Rana the face of Indian bowling attack.
All of a sudden,
All of a
Siraj is
sudden.
just
Well,
gone.
I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, in the Dhoni era, we had Ashwin and Mohit Sharma and all these guys come up, and now it's I'd say whoever the coach likes. End of the day,
Yeah, yeah. End of the day, it's about whose good books you are in.
Now
Yeah.
imagine what the LSG boys are thinking. They had Gambhir for 2 seasons as mentor. None of them got a pass into this team. None of them. I mean, Rahul did technically, but Rahul is Rahul. He
Yeah.
would have been in
Rahul.
anyway.
Rahul
Yeah.
Rahul was already in the team. They got Mayank Yadav in. They got Ravi Bishnoi in. Um, who else? Mohit
But
Sharma is
Ravi
going
Bishnoi
to
doesn't make the
bench.
Champions Trophy team. Again,
I mean, he got
Ravi
in
Bishnoi gets
T20s,
snubbed last minute.
T20s. He got in T20s, huh?
No. But Ravi Bishnoi was well ahead of Varun Chakravarti when it comes to contention
Yeah.
for the Champions Trophy.
He should
All
have
of a
been.
sudden, Varun
I've
Chakravarti is in.
always lobbied against Varun Chakravarti. He's been doing well in the recent past, but I'd say Ravi Bishnoi is leaps and bounds better.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. Completely agree with you. But
But Bishno is
Gigi has
not
always had
playing
his
in the
moments.
Varun's a
team.
scam.
That's-
No, I don't see Varun playing in the first 11, especially with Kuldeep in. I don't think they'll play two specialist spinners. If they play
But
Varun, I
but
think they'll rest Kuldeep.
if they do play Varun and Kuldeep against us tomorrow, that's overkill. Like we're gonna score 20 all out.
No, we'll be so frightened. We'll end up giving all our wickets to Arshdeep and Harshit
And
Rana. We'll be
Rana,
like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it.
yeah. Like, yo, before those guys come, let's get out of here.
Exactly. Shanman Jana cricket.
Anyways, Pakistan and New Zealand left these two as the last two teams because they're going to be playing the first match. Fardin, it says Haris Rauf is actually available. So despite the injury scare,
Yeah,
they're persisting
I
with him.
heard he's, yeah, from what I've seen, in some places, apparently he's recovered in time, apparently.
You still
So,
start with Hasnain.
I would I would go for it. I think the narrative around a lot of group chats slash social media is why not continue with Hasnain? Why not give him the go? Uh, for Pakistan, it might be like, oh, we have our own version of big three quicks: Haris, Nasim, and
How many of
Shaheen.
you have seen the meme with Khusdil Shah and Abrar Ahmed and Fahim Ashraf on top? and then at the bottom below Kustil Shah, you've got um,
Travis said.
Travis Head. No, 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 no. Below Kustil Shah, you've got Chris Gale. Below Fahim Ashraf, you've got Ben Stokes. And below Abrar Ahmed, you've got Shane Warne. And people, the caption is "The world ain't ready for this trial." So that's what it is with Pakistan. They've got their own, sort of World
See, the
11
only reason why they will push for Fahim Ashraf is because somehow they'll be convinced that Shaheen
BPL
Afridi
form.
is not ready to bat at number 8, and you don't want
Yeah.
to thin the batting lineup, which is complete BS. In my opinion, that's BS. You have a top 7 that's solid enough to be a proper top 7. You have Shaheen Shah Afridi, who is a genuine, I believe, a genuine number 8 across
Yeah.
formats, at least
Do,
in
Yeah.
white ball cricket. Maybe not in
Yes.
test yet, but at least in
do,
white ball
do
cricket.
you guys
Mhm.
still?
How are you going to
He's not number
advocate for
five.
Fahim?
The way he promotes himself at times, he's not number five, but he's
He's
number
not
eight.
number
Yeah.
8, any day number 8.
Do you
Yeah.
guys feel like Shaheen Shah still makes the starting 11?
120%. In ODIs, he still makes it
Even
because they don't
even
have
even
Ojay. They don't
even
have
after
the
his
Bikolpo that we talk about. They
The
even
literally
the
don't.
after his downfall post wedding,
No, it
post
doesn't
marital
matter. Like
downfall.
again, they don't have. They literally don't have any more replacements.
they're gonna
Haris
have to
Rauf,
bring they're gonna have to bring Khurram Shahzad at this point if they need to
Amin
replace
Jamal.
Ahmed
Ihsan
I would
Khan
have.
back from retirement at
I,
22.
I actually would have liked to have seen, as much as I hate him, I would have liked to have seen Sajid Khan.
Ihsanullah.
No, no,
Ihsanullah.
no. Sajid Khan come in as an extra spinner for Pakistan.
Oh, Sajid Khan, nah, not in white ball. I mean, who they should have actually picked for
Yaqir Shah.
the white ball team is
Noman.
Sufyan Mukim. That
I don't even know
uh,
him, so I'm not going to comment.
no, he's
I would rather play Usman.
Usman Khan, legend. Do you think Usman Khan plays at the tournament?
He might
He'll
for an
come.
injury. He just might.
For injury, yes.
Let's
For
say
any other reason, no.
hypothetically, somebody, let's say Abrar Ahmed gets injured before the Bangladesh game. Usman is the first person on the flight.
Usman is
What
with the
flight?
squad. He's in the squad.
Hey, he's
Usman
in the
He's
Khan.
in
squad.
the
Usman
squad.
Khan. We're talking Usman
Are they the
Khan.
leg spinner Usman, the guy who played for
No,
the
no, no, no,
Shaheen?
no. Usman
Usama
Khan.
Mir.
Oh,
Usama
Usama,
Usama
Mir.
Mir.
Usama. I to Usama. I mean that guy. Usman is the opener. No, no, I'm talking about the leg spinner. Inshallah.
I'm talking about
Usama Mir, you're right. If you're saying that he will be the first choice to replace Abrar, 100% he will.
Mm-hmm.
But
Eyes
for
closed.
that, Abrar will have to get injured, which again, we're not
Just
hoping
break
for
his
that to happen,
glasses.
but it's possible.
I'm saying Usman Khan to score 100 against India. This is my
If
this is my
Usman Khan
prediction.
plays against India, half the fans will probably not even be watching.
Yo, all the Pakistani fans are already pissed off, and the game hasn't even started yet, and it's still 3.5 hours
But
away.
to be fair, they've been in this exact position before in 2017.
Why?
Just saying.
Why do they hate Usman Khan?
Because
Usman Khan in internationals has been so terrible that
Yeah,
all the
of course
questions have been
there's
how
that.
is his
Look,
franchise
if
form
if it
justifying his T20I spot?
if it's
Now his
just
franchise spot is
perform
justifying his ODI spot.
if it's just performance, everyone in Pakistan has been a travesty at some point in their life.
But
But I'm saying,
Mohammad Haris is still better than Usman Khan at any level.
why is he sort of relegated to A team captain forever? What's wrong with? It's like Chandik Akhtar saying, "Oh, Mominul is only test. He only plays tests. No, white ball for him. What's he done wrong? Why do you hate Muhammad Haris? He had a sit BPL. Yeah, we know, but BPL is not where you judge your players. I think Haris opens any day ahead of someone like Sam Ayub before the past 1 year, before the past 12
past
months,
six
I would
months,
say,
past
eh?
6 months.
4 to
six
6 months. Okay,
months.
fine, fine. I still say Ayub is a scam. Anyways, but yeah,
But
Sam
now
Ayub,
he is
he's good now. He's
doing
okay now, but
other
he,
things in UAE.
Now he's with Hani
yeah.
Amit.
Uh,
So let's not go there.
Um,
Sam Ayub, wishing you a speedy recovery. Don't want to make any
are
more
they missing?
comments.
Wishing you all
Do
the
you think
best.
last topic, I guess, is do you think they're missing out on not having Imamul Haq in the squad?
Very much, yes, 100%. And I think our viewer Inzamam will be able to elaborate better on this. On that note, I have to go. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
No, but Imam, I felt like him getting snubbed was unfortunate because he was getting
Yeah,
runs in Pakistan wickets.
exactly.
That's all you need, right?
Yeah,
End of the
exactly,
day,
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
all you need. But I'm glad Fakhar made it back on time. Fakhar is in.
Hmm.
Fakhar and Imam would have ideally been the opening pair, not to be, I suppose. Fakhar and Babar. This whole Babar opening, how do you see it?
Yeah, I think they're just trying to fit Rizwan into middle order, right? And or trying to make Rizwan like that number four, take the leadership kind of a role, and that's why Babar has become the move up to opening and take that responsibility to lay the foundation. This tournament, I would say, is kind of defining for a lot of guys like Labuschagne, Babar, all these guys have a lot to answer for because there's a lot of chatter going on, right? And a lot of chatter means anytime your position is up for grabs, there's chatter around the circuit. And Huraira just scored 100 against South Africa. Mohammad Haris scored a 70. There are guys knocking about, and Pakistan has shown they're not really shy of dropping people, no matter the stature, right? Babar and Shaheen Shah got dropped in tests, and then they came back. So it can happen, right? Like if you don't put the runs up, it can happen. So right now they're just trying to fit in everyone into the lineup, which means Babar has to open. Now, if he doesn't click completely, yeah, I mean, Akib Javed might even make a case for Usman Khan to be opening.
Are we gonna play Rishad Hussain? Yes, very likely. In Pakistan, very likely. It would be a complete blunder to not play a wrist spinner in Pakistan, but he will have to
Yeah,
make some adjustments. It's not going to be the same as bowling in the rest of the subcontinent. Not
yeah.
that he's done particularly well in the rest of the subcontinent now that I think about it,
I
but
think I think if he like one thing he has to definitely take into account is trying to get his wrist to bowl side spin a lot more than overspin because overspin works everywhere else in the world. We talked about this in person while watching T20 World Cup. Overspin works very well around the world. Overspin does not work very well in subcontinent. In subcontinent, you actually need to bowl side spin more because that gives you the natural variation of the one that turns and then the one that doesn't turn. Overspin gives you that more bounce aspect of the game. So that's what he has to go for because the way he bowled at someone like Sanju Samson, I know he's just teeing off, whatever, but when you're bowling overspin, they're just hitting through the line at that point, right? Because even if it, with the bats these days, even if it takes a different part of the bat because of the extra bounce, you're probably still getting two if it doesn't carry to the fielder, right? So I think that just requires a little bit of technical fix on his part. If he does that, I see him picking up wickets in Pakistan because since when do leg spinners not pick up wickets in Pakistan, right? Like,
the last team to discuss is New Zealand, and
hmm,
that's New Zealand have had two pace bowling concerns since the last time we spoke about them. Jacob Duffy is in place of Ben
hmm,
Steers, which I think could be a blessing in disguise, if I'm being honest. But
yeah,
Loki
yep.
Ferguson is also out. You want someone like Loki Ferguson to have his experience with this young bowling attack, but not to be. And now you have Jameson. Kyle
Jameson,
Jameson has been
yeah, he's
out of
just
everything for a while now. So
yeah, he basically he was like that golden child of West New Zealand cricket, right? Sorry, Zimbabwe West. He was like the golden child of New Zealand cricket, and then he went through like these slumps, plus injuries, everything in between, and that makes it difficult to kind of put your trust in a player to come out consistently, and that I would say is the reason they have found someone like Jacob Duffy or even Will O'Rourke because it has allowed for those two guys to kind of come in and take some leadership in the bowling group. I would say New Zealand's bowling, since Lockie Ferguson is not available, will depend a lot on Will O'Rourke, especially the pace attack. And it's a lot of uh, pressure to have in your probably his first ICC tournament, right?
He
Uh,
played the World Test Championship final,
World
so
Test
that
Championship
counts.
final. Yeah, yeah. So, bit of pressure on him, but if he handles it well, I think he will do well. What do they go? Will O'Rourke and Jacob Duffy today? Do you think Nathan Smith plays?
I don't think so. I think Will O'Rourke, Jacob Duffy, is Jameson in? Like, has he arrived? I think it
I
depends
don't
on
know if
that.
he's
And
arrived because they only
let me check if
announced
they
it
have any
today.
other pacers. Are we missing
No,
someone?
I
Because if not,
see
then Nathan Smith plays. He has to play because they're
he
not
has
gonna
to that.
play someone who's just landed, even if he does land on time.
Does Tom Latham play or does Mark Chapman play?
Tom Latham plays. I think
Mm,
Chapman. It's very unfortunate. Chapman's gonna get snubbed. It's gonna be that whole Phillips at 6, Bracewell at 7. They're not gonna tweak with that.
they're not gonna
It's gonna
tinker.
be
Yeah,
not gonna tinker. It's gonna be the same. And this weird question: why not they play Bolt, Nut and Bolt? No, but the whole point is it's not about central contract. It's about lack of ODI game time. He looked
yeah,
very rusty in the last World Cup because of this exact reason. He hasn't had proper ODI game time. You cannot go from playing franchise league cricket to all of a sudden bowling 10 overs in a single game. You cannot. It's a big jump.
yeah.
And
And
outside of
and
that,
I
it's
e-
he's 35 or 36 now. I mean, come on.
exactly,
How much more is he going to give?
exactly. Sometimes you just gotta learn to move past. Like I give this example all the time, and I'll just give this example again. When you move away from players, initially it looks really shitty. Initially, it looks like, oh, you're making the worst decision ever. But end of the day, it can become a blessing because look at where South Africa cricket is now. They're done away with Faf. They're done away with AB de Villiers. You know, they went through that slump. They're done away with. They've basically done away with Quinton de Kock after that 2023 World Cup. They're, like they've gone through that growing pain of trusting guys who are not clicking, and giving someone like Markram a long run, even though he's not performing, etc., etc. That's how a transition phase goes. And now they've ended up on the other side of it, where they're playing. They've played already two ICC tournament finals in a row, I think, or something like that. Or they will be playing two in a row because T20 World Cup and World Test Championship, right? And then, yeah,
You have one tournament sandwiched in between, which is the
in
Champions
between
Trophy,
in the Champions Trophy. So,
which again they may qualify for the finals again. So you never
exactly,
know.
they
They're
might
favorites
just,
for after all.
yeah, yeah,
Not to mention the women's team qualified for two back-to-back T20 World Cup finals and also the
indeed.
under 19 T20 World Cup
Mm,
final.
yeah, yeah. South Africa's
So
changing.
that going on.
South, South Africa's changing. The narrative is changing. Jared Kimber will be happy.
New video content.
New video.
All right, Vardin, I think that's about it. I am not sure. I'm not too optimistic that we'll be here for the preview of the Bangladesh game. Maybe a review after that because it's
Maybe.
not
Yeah.
exactly a favorable time zone for us, as
Yeah.
unfortunate as that
4
sounds.
a.m. unfortunately, but yeah, we might do a review because it actually the end of the game probably slots in with our noon time or around that time. So we might be able to get
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, I remember this. Of course, Hansi Cronje receiving it from Sheikh Hasina. We know how
Sega.
Hansi Cronje's career turned out. We know how Sheikh Hasina's career turned out. So let's not go there.
uh,
Uh,
that
one
that
of their
that
planes landed successfully in Delhi. Only one of theirs. Sorry. That got a little
Delta
too dark.
Air, why Delta Airlines?
No, no, no. Hansi, plane.
No, no, no. I know, but I'm saying you'll have another Delta Airlines scenario.
Oh man. But that one was, but technically that was a very safe landing if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, no one got killed.
No one
No
even
one's
got hurt all
paralyzed.
that badly. Last I
Yeah, no
checked.
one's paralyzed. Exactly. So
Can you imagine? It's like
absurd,
you know the whole
absurd.
joke about Kudrate Nizam with Pakistan.
Could
This is literally what Kudrate Nizam looks like.
crazy.
But in Bangladesh, we have to show trust in players for 2, 3, maybe 10 years. 2, 3, maybe 10 years.
The thing is, even after 10 years, they don't play anything close to what these players in other countries play in 2 to 3 years. That's true, 100%.
That's true, 100%.
In
Yeah.
Bangladesh, investing in a player is a loss. If you if you don't perform within your first 10 matches, you should be dropped. Forget it. Because if you can do it in the first 10 matches, we know you're not gonna do it in the next 100. Like it's no different. Like
This is
Shomo
why
Sarkar might be.
I actually feel bad for a lot of players who, in between, we had this phase when we were doing well. This is probably one of the reasons why we don't actually have a proper pipeline. Is when we were doing well, there were a lot of players who would come and go, come and go, come and go. First of all,
Mhm,
not a lot of them did not look like they were ready for international cricket. So why were they getting selected? Second of all,
right.
if you are selecting them, surely, like Nannu, you were the selector for a very long time. Lipu came in much later. You saw something in them. That's why you selected them. Why aren't you giving them a second chance after that? They're
Yeah,
performing in
yeah,
domestic cricket. Why aren't you giving them a second chance? Fazle Rabbi looked completely out of place against Zimbabwe, but there's
yeah,
a reason he got selected. He
yeah.
actually had runs in domestic cricket.
These
Why aren't
guys
you
said
giving
he's
him a
a
second chance?
three-dimensional player. We're looking at him at a three-dimensional perspective, etc., etc. You can't talk up a guy and then give him 2, 3 games and then he's done forever. Like that makes no sense.
Can we see something new? See, Salahuddin knows how to work with these guys on a personal level. I get that, and it sort of works. In practice, it works. On paper, it works. On field, Salahuddin can't play for them, right? No one can play for
Exactly. You can coach someone as much as you want, but when the pressure is on, you gotta do it yourself. End of the day, and we know how badly or how nicely we can handle pressure at all.
See, I was watching Saladin carrying out this drill with, I think it was one of the batters. I don't even remember who at this point. It was one of the batters. He was carrying out a drill. He knew exactly how to get them out. He carried that whole thing out in practice, showed
Hmm.
them, okay, this is the mistake you're making. This is the mistake you have to avoid. There's no
Hmm.
guarantee they won't make that same mistake
Same
against
is,
India.
I mean, look at your stalwarts. They're making the same mistakes after 20 years. 2005 to 2025. So,
And I can't fault Salahuddin for this. I'm not saying he's a
no,
perfect
no, no,
coach.
I
I'm
know. No,
saying
no,
that
no.
there's
I'm
only
saying
so much you can
this is not
coach,
a
right?
coach's fault. This is not a coach's fault. A coach cannot go and play for you out there. When you go to a game, when you're nets, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're changing this, you're changing that, because there is no factor of losing or factor of failing there. Once they go to a match, Bangladeshi cricketers' mindset becomes comfort. Oh, I know this. I'm gonna just do this because I know it's safe for me. But the fact that you're safe is wrong, they don't take that into account.
Because once young players like 20, 25 years, they don't consider 30-year-olds for a job. I mean, I want to agree with you, but at the same time, we don't exactly have good 30-year-olds either. I mean, we push for this, we'll have Ziaur Rahman playing again. So it's not like we're going to go anywhere with this. And right now,
The
we don't exactly have that crop anymore because these 30-year-olds who some of us were advocating for, a lot of them are already at the twilight of their career. They're no longer 30, they're 36, 37, 38 now,
yeah,
about to retire,
yeah.
sort of. So there's no
You
point.
could have picked them maybe 5, 6 years ago, but you can't pick them now because it doesn't make sense. See, the thing is, once Bangladeshi players go through the under 19 structure, there's no structure after that. There is no national cricket excellence that goes through camps every 2 months, 3 months, with a group of players. Nothing. There's nothing like that. Players are on their own, and when you're on your own, these guys are either going to Moscow, either going to their Bangla track, or they're ending up at academy ground with their selected 5-6 net bowlers, and they're doing the same things that they know because they don't want to try something different and do it wrong and have someone tell them, oh, you're doing it wrong, or go to a game and not do it right. And because of the way the cricket climate is in Bangladesh, a lot of guys are not willing to take risks because they think that one bad season might be the end of my career. But because you try something, one good season might be the start of your career. They don't think about it like that. So look at all these guys. Like if you look at Mehrab Hossain Ahin, for example, does he look like he's international cricket ready? And he played an under 19 World Cup 5 years ago and then 3 years ago. But at no point in the whole BPL did he look like he's ready to make a step up to international cricket. And he's played two under 19 World Cups. So you can't have guys come in when they're 23, 24, or even 25 if they've not met the criteria to level up because they're still at the level of under 19 cricket.
It's going to be the new captain after the tournament. If Shanto has a good tournament, he's going to captain till the
Yeah,
2027 World Cup.
yeah, yeah.
There's a last thing I wanted to do. So blind rankings are now a thing apparently. They're very, very popular all of a
Blind
sudden.
rankings. Is that the way
Yeah.
where Michael Clark ended up with his four teams being what's it called? Uh, his four teams, his four finalists were all from the same group.
Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to name the batter. You're going to tell me how likely it is for them to be the top scorer. 1 for most likely, 6 for least likely.
Okay.
Let's start. I'm going to start with the big guy, Virat Kohli,
Four.
Tanzit Tamim,
Six.
6.
Least likely, right? Six
Least
is
likely,
least.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
6 is least likely.
yeah.
Let's do Aiden Markham,
One.
1. Wow. Henrik Klassen.
Oh, screw you, man. That's
I knew this expression was going to come. The moment you selected
uh
Markham for 1.
three.
3.
Yeah.
Babar Azam. You've got 5 and 2, the only options left.
Yeah, yeah. Two.
2. Okay. Indian fans are not going to be happy. And the last one, you pretty much have to go with him, I guess. Gurbaz.
I
Gurbaz
guess
is fine at 5.
five. Yeah, at five. Yeah. So why was your reaction like that for Tanzit Tamim?
I mean, I expected something better, maybe. 6 is
Oh, okay,
just,
six is like being too harsh.
too harsh.
Mm,
He can have a
mm.
decent tournament.
He
He's an
could he
opener
could have
after
a
all.
yeah,
He can
yeah,
have a decent
he
tournament.
could. Yeah, yeah.
Once openers even have a decent tournament, they end up getting a lot of runs. I didn't select Travis Head because this guy is so unpredictable, honestly. I didn't want to throw him in there. He can be absolutely unpredictable. Like if Australia make it to the top 4, if they have a game against India, he's gonna wreak havoc.
I can't type, but yo, let me do this with you too. Then
Okay.
you'll
Okay,
type
fine.
it out then.
Okay, I'll type it. Okay.
Okay. Uh, Devin Conway.
Ooh, Devon Conway. I'm gonna go 4.
4. Okay. 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 Mm, Josh Inglis.
Josh Inglis, 6. I like the guy. I'm not even sure if he's gonna get enough game time, honestly.
Shomo Sarkar.
I would have given him 6, but 5 isn't too bad. 5.
That's crazy. Um, okay, I'm gonna make this one a bit more difficult for you. Shubman Gill.
Shubman Gill. 2.
2.
I was debating between 1 and 2. I'm gonna go 2.
Mm, 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 mm. Fakir Zaman.
I'm gonna go 3. Even if he has a good tournament, I don't expect him to be like the highest scorer. I expect him to have 1 or 2 good, great knocks.
Mm, mm, mm.
So I'm left with 1. Whoever
You're
it is, I
left
have
with
to
a
go with
1.
1. Should have just given it to Gill. Played it safe.
Ah, so you're saying Ibrahim Zadran is gonna be top run scorer.
I suppose I have to say it now. I don't even know if his ACL is going to allow him to play all the matches, but
All the
whatever.
games, yeah, exactly.
So this is
No.
my blind selection, blind ranking. Uh, Anyways, it's been a
You
fun
gave
discussion,
Shomo
Fardin.
more credit than I gave Tanzit Tamim.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's mostly down to the fact that I had already given
I
Inglis
had
6
given
because I wasn't
English
sure how
6.
much game time he's going to get. That's all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, thank
Fardin,
you.
thank you very
Good chat.
much. Good
Yeah,
chat. We don't know when we'll be back, but we'll try and be back soon.
we'll try
That's
and be
all we
back
can say for
soon.
now.
Thank you for watching.